All right, Lovett, a new competitor has entered the podcast arena.
Okay.
And after watching the first episode, I think we should be extremely worried.
All right.
Hi, I'm Katie Miller. Welcome to my podcast and welcome to my living room. You may be wondering what I'm doing here hosting a podcast. It seems these days, just about everyone has a podcast. For years, I've watched from the sidelines as people I know, people I respect, have hosted TV shows, radio shows, podcasts, you name it. And I thought, hey, I could do that too. And why? Because for years I've seen that there isn't a place for conservative women to gather online. There isn't a place for a mom like me, mom of 3 young kids, 4, 3, and almost 2, and a wife, and trying to do a career, eat healthy, work out. There isn't a place for a mom like me. And so I wanted to create that space where we have real, honest conversations with people across the political spectrum and across the world to get lifestyle information, news, laugh with our friends, gossip about what's going on in the world from our perspective, from that of a mom with 3 kids who's trying to make every day be the best it can, from bedtime to bath time to breakfast in the morning to getting out the door for work and everything in between.
Okay. So,
A mom of 3 kids. Thank God there's finally a place for conservative women to gather online.
I know. So
Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, what's going on?
Before we get to that, I'm stuck on the decor and finding out that this is her living room because it looks like somebody just like went to a Kimpton and was like, I would like a dog shit version of this.
It's also like, boy, is she loose already? You know, she's just a mom like her. She sounds like a Hillary Clinton announcement video.
I know. I like feel like I just sort of, you know, it must be tough. I'm gonna be empathetic for a moment. It must be tough to have to launch this, right? Because she has some notoriety already. She doesn't get time to put this thing on its feet. To try some stuff out. We're just out of the gate getting a lot of attention.
And for people who don't know, that's Katie Miller. She was in the White House press office during Trump's first term. Then she became Mike Pence's communications director. Awkward. Then Elon Musk's advisor and spokesperson for Doge. Then she left Doge to work for Elon in the private sector. And now she's doing what all washed up has-been former White House staffers end up doing, which is start a podcast.
And you know what? It's well-trod territory.
And of course, she is married to our favorite Santa Monica fascist, Stephen Miller.
Yeah, the idea that there's this like, whatever. It's like, you know, I guess like you got like soft, soft filter conservatism.
Yeah,
I guess
like the softer side of fascism.
Yeah, like like the lifestyle fascism.
Yeah,
I guess
that's what
call it.
But like also the whole thing, like there's an empty space here. It's like Candace Owens does this better. We don't have to agree with Candace Owens. Megyn Kelly, who we all know how I feel about Megyn Kelly, she does it better. There's not a dearth of right-wing women having successful podcasts and being on online spaces.
And there's tons of right-wing content about like home life and traditional life and. I mean, maybe is the argument that there's not something that's about home life from the perspective of somebody who's working. I don't. It seems covered ground.
Trying to get out the door. She has 3 kids. All right. So, for Katie's first episode, she somehow landed a guest big enough to rival the hysterically anticipated appearance of Taylor Swift on Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce's podcast tonight.
How'd they get that booking, by the way?
This. Same here. Yeah. Let's watch.
Now we're going to do some cabinet confidential here.
Okay, great.
Your answers can only be that of cabinet members.
Okay.
Okay. Who would you draft first on your basketball team?
Marco.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fast. He's well coordinated. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but yeah.
Okay, I would have gone with Scott Turner maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Who would you pick in a chess tournament?
Doug Burgum. Very logical. Very chill.
Who is sitting next to you on a long-haul international flight as your seatmate?
Maybe your husband, actually, though I guess he's not technically in the cabinet. Probably Chris Wright.
Okay.
Very good guy.
Who would you trust most to babysit your kids?
Kelly Loeffler.
If you could only eat one condiment for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One condiment?
Yeah.
Does barbecue sauce count?
Yeah.
Okay, barbecue sauce.
Not mayonnaise?
No. No, mayonnaise is like in low doses is good, but it's kind of like I had a buddy who used to eat French fries with mayonnaise. I thought that was disgusting.
It's the only thing my husband eats.
With French fries or like period?
Period.
Okay. Wow. I didn't realize.
He's only a mayonnaise guy.
Okay. I learned something about Steven I didn't know.
Yeah, it's whatever. So, Marco Rubio is known as a funny jokester. What's
Yes.
the funniest joke he's told you? Or the funniest moment you've had with him?
Okay, so you guys will have to determine whether we can actually put this in the
We
final.
can cut it if
the
not.
final
We
cut,
can
but
cut it
here's-
if not.
So we were talking about something very serious related to the Middle East, and he starts this joke totally deadpan. He's like, I learned something interesting about the Middle East because I had a constituent call a few years ago when I was in the Senate, and a woman was visiting Israel, and her husband died while they were in Israel. And I was like, oh man, that's terrible. And she was trying to get help from us for how to get the body back to the United States. And she said to me, man, I don't know, maybe I don't want it back. The last time somebody the last time somebody died over here, they rose from the dead 3 days later. And I didn't know until the very end that it was a totally bullshit joke. I was like on the edge of my seat, like what happened with this poor woman and her husband? He's got jokes.
So I have a lot of questions, but my first is, how does it feel to know that you were the Marco Rubio of our White House?
He's got jokes.
You're not super tall.
I'm not super
I would
tall.
definitely draft you first in
I
basketball.
don't think that's right. There's something so chilling about. So there's a couple things that like just jump out about this. One, it's like this. They're playing an icebreakers game and it's not working. It's not causing the conversation they're hoping to have.
Love it. That was minute 15. So I watched. Lovett has not seen these clips, by the way. I watched all 44 minutes of this. It's 44 minutes of that. There's nothing else.
It's she's nervous. Like it doesn't have a reason to exist. I guess we're trying to get understand who JD Vance is as a person.
Mm-mm.
But the questions do not elucidate anything because they're supposed to, you're just be like barbecue sauce. Next question.
How about the silence between with the mayonnaise? Like mayonnaise, huh? That's what my husband eats. Oh, really? Learned something new about Steven. Also, this is maybe the substantive comment about this whole thing, which is JD Vance really loves Stephen Miller. And he recently said, I brought it up on some pod, I think it was the All In pod when they interviewed him. He said that he's like, oh, well, in the White House, the two furthest right on immigration are me and Stephen Miller. And then he called Stephen Miller his friend some other time. Now he goes outside the cabinet. He was supposed to just name a cabinet official, and he wants to be on a long haul flight next to Stephen
Miller.
What?
So yeah, that's interesting.
Like, he
that
loves
is interesting.
Stephen Miller.
Well, I can see it, right? Because they are both very smart guys, and like they are operators, and they are surrounded by buffoons and Fox News hosts. But
Except for Marco, who's got jokes.
Except for Marco, who got jokes, who he also chose. And so, like, I can see that. I also can see JD Vance knowing the power, like how much power Stephen Miller has. And maybe it's less about a statement about what JD Vance actually thinks about Miller and more about JD Vance knowing that he's got to keep this guy close to him. It's, I think, a little bit of both.
I also kind of think it's that Stephen Miller is a more openly radical, fanatical version of what JD Vance actually does believe. And he's better at putting on somewhat of a mask in public because he wants to become president.
Yeah, and just making sure that Stephen Miller, that he is seen as being part of the anti-immigration brigade, is going to be very helpful.
Very helpful
in a future primary. They also like kind of teeter on the brink of doing a round of isn't mayonnaise bad, which is like the hackiest fucking shit.
Just wait. Just wait.
Sorry, and that story.
The Marco joke.
It's such a long journey to get to. It doesn't make sense. The math of the joke doesn't make sense. What you don't necessarily want to bring him back because Jesus rose from the dead 3 days later. Why would you not? Why would that affect whether or not you transport the body? You're saying that if you keep him in, is the joke that you don't want him back, or is the joke that you want to stay in Israel with the corpse in case he wakes up?
And also a question: was the joke better? And as we saw from that, he could barely deliver the joke as it was. So maybe Marco did have a good joke, and we just didn't.
Yeah, it could have been butchered.
We didn't get the best version.
Yeah, it could have been butchered. But I also feel for Katie Miller here, because you think JD Vance is going to be a big get for your first interview, but then you realize that the kind of delta between who he is as a person and the performance he's doing of what he wants to be makes him so stodgy and stuck and hard to talk to, and so she just doesn't get anything out of him.
Does not get anything. So of course the two got personal. There were seemingly dozens of questions about the vice president's home life, and we got to see a lighter side of JD Vance, the family man. Let's listen.
So how do you handle a toddler tantrum in a public place?
Ush and I handle it very differently. So it's crazy. In airports, people would always come up to her. Like, we had this woman come up to her a couple years ago and say, I'm like a child therapist, and the way that you interact with your son is so amazing, and like praising her. And I'm like, it is amazing. She's super patient. She'll try to reason with them.
Yeah.
If they have a tantrum in a public place, I immediately grab them, take them to the bathroom, and say, you got to cut this shit out. I'm the parent who's like, no, this is not okay.
She's the gentle parent?
And she's the gentle parent. And the thing is, I actually, even though she has her way, she's kind of become sympathetic to my way, because if the kids have a total meltdown with all the cameras on, then it becomes a viral moment through no fault of their own. I mean, a 3-year-old is going to have a temper tantrum from time to time. So one of the things we do try to do is protect them from becoming like the subject of a viral moment. And sometimes that requires me to be very quick and to sort of anticipate this stuff as it happens. What's
your secret to keeping your marriage solid while the entire country and the world is in your business?
So I actually came up with this idea, and it's one of my better ideas as a husband, is probably 6 or 7 years ago, we do a husband and wife book club, and we try to do it once a month. And so we've fallen a little bit behind just because I don't have enough time to read. But even during the time I've been vice president, we've done 2 books together, and I'm currently working on the 3rd. She's done with it. But like actually forcing us to do something together that makes us think, that makes us talk, that gives us something that we're sort of thinking about and talking about at the exact same time, that's been very good.
Would you rather your kids publicly rate your parenting on C-SPAN or never be able to tell a dad joke again?
Never be able to tell a dad joke again. No, my kids, they are very judgmental of our parenting in public, and I think they know that, there are always cameras around, so they use that as an opportunity to say, Dad should, he should have Child Protective Services called because he didn't give me 2 scoops of ice cream last night. And it's like, no, son, that's not how this works out. But they know they have an audience.
What's your best dad joke?
I have a few. So this is from Pulp Fiction, and my kids love this because they kind of get it. Mama Tomato, Papa Tomato, and Baby Tomato were taking a walk one day, and Baby Tomato started lagging behind, so Papa Tomato got kind of angry, went back, and squished him and said, ketchup. Not bad, right?
That one's good. And so why were you running after your kids at Disneyland? You're on Tom Sawyer Island. So what's the story there?
I saw that, and somebody was like, "Oh, he runs funny." No, the actual.
It's like the dad run.
The dad run. No, the actual answer is, so we had the island to ourselves, which was very cool. I'd never been to Disneyland.
They were shutting down the Disney World one.
Yeah, that's. Sorry to all the people who are Disneyland for the longer lines, but we had a very good time. But my kids really like this game called Ogre, where I chase after them, but I don't run full speed. And so I was playing Ogre.
The old Ogre excuse.
So, man, a lot of content.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
A lot of content.
You run weird, the country sees it. I was just playing Ogre.
I don't know if I don't know why he feels like he needs to lie about that. If that is a lie, I don't know what's true. But what it looked like is he got nervous that the kids were where they shouldn't be, and he didn't want to run in a way that looks scary, but he kind of wanted to move fast. I thought he
wanted to grab them, take them to the bathroom, and tell them to cut the shit out.
Right, for sure. But
so then they could tell the cameras that we need to call Child Protective Services, and then he could tell the joke about squishing the small tomato. I'm not going to judge anyone's relationship with their children, but he seems like a fun dad.
I don't. There's something so Like he's like racking, like he thinks of the joke from Pulp Fiction, whether or not he tells it he's playing ogre. I thought he got I saw people being fun of him for running after the kid, and I was like, I don't know. It looked like somebody who was like, got nervous for a second that his kid's going somewhere without there, kind of like, kind of was like kind of like that dad run. It didn't bother me, but there's something about like this sorry to everyone at Disneyland. There's just this like,
I know.
I don't know. There's something of
also, I noticed
a little feminine.
a little feminine. I noticed too. This is very like, and Usha's amazing. She has a great way, but and I'm tougher. But she's come around to my version, and then also with the book club, it's like my best idea as a husband.
Best idea.
It's very
possessive.
Yeah,
it's very possessive. It's funny too, and it's just like, in the great war between justice and mercy, you've brought Usha over to the justice side, even when it comes to the scolding of children. Like, we're just like that even here you've shown the world that there's a need for more justice. Your wife has learned from you about how to see that there's just too much mercy in our society, and we once again have to bring justice back.
So Katie spent obviously so much time asking hard-hitting questions about politics and news of the day. She did intro by saying, we're going to cover some news.
Yeah.
0 questions about news or politics.
I don't understand how you're doing this for 45 fucking minutes.
But she did decide to end on a lighter note.
Yeah, no,
what shows are you watching right now?
So we're watching Gilded Age.
Okay.
So that's on HBO.
You don't think it's gone woke too?
Has it gone woke?
It's really bad.
Really?
Steven and I are watching it right now.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess I haven't noticed.
Cynthia Nixon is on there.
Well, yeah, but she's like the opposite of Cynthia Nixon in real life. That's what I actually made this observation, that she's like a sort of a normal human being on Gilded Age.
What songs are on your playlist right now?
So I'm a big classic rock guy and a pretty big 90s rock guy. So a lot of my songs are, like sort of the Pearl Jam era or the Led Zeppelin era. But even some of the 90s songs, like talk about embarrassing shows, there are some embarrassing 90s songs that I'm really into, like Stay by Lisa Loeb. I listened to that a couple days ago. No, that's not. Don't like that one.
Do you have a guilty pleasure show that's embarrassing to admit?
Other than Emily in Paris?
Love Island, redoing like The Hunting Wives, The Summer I Turned Pretty.
I really like the show Outer Banks.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's really embarrassing,
No.
but it's not. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
I think Emily in Paris is pretty embarrassing. Okay, here's my riff on Emily in Paris. I actually think that it's like a super smart meta commentary on European culture, and it's basically a criticism of millennials.
Yeah.
I think it's basically the entire show is like kind of fun and it's bubbly, and you get to see like beautiful things and beautiful people, but it's fundamentally a criticism of millennial culture. And as a proud geriatric millennial, I think it's pretty fascinating.
And that's it. That's our vice president. There's a lot there. I'll let you unpack.
Did we get the books? Did he ever say what the books were?
It's Ross Douthat has written a fantasy novel.
That's his choice to read with Usha. Okay.
That's what they're currently reading. All the Pretty Horses was the last one they did, and
I have no opinion about that.
And then he couldn't remember the other one. It was a nonfiction one. It might have been about therapy.
He
But it was
can't remember.
Abby Shire's therapy thing. She's like that right wing sort of.
The like even just his music taste. It's all this.
It's the worst of millennial culture, actually.
Well, right, but also it's like this. It's this sort of like catalog of the correct answers, the correct answers for like what he can say and what he said. Even Emily in Paris is like the perfect thing to say. He can say, I'm sure he would, that whatever he washes it with Usha, right? Like it's this perfect catalog, like a curated version of being like normal, right? Like even the classic rock, like I have some embarrassing 90s songs, but then you hear the critique of Emily in Paris and it's like, God, that is very specific. Very
it's almost like there was commentary at the time about how it was it was like a boomers. I think people were calling it like a boomers idealized version of like critiquing millennials.
Right. But of course,
he sounds more like a boomer.
Right. No, he does. He just doesn't. He just doesn't feel like he's our age.
No,
and he doesn't.
No, he feels 30 years older.
He feels older.
He's younger than us.
I know he's younger than
us.
But it's just like the suit he's wearing, like just the emotional suit he's wearing, it just seems so heavy.
Also, what comes through with the Cynthia Nixon thing is the woke thing is real. Like there was another question where she asked him, like, would you rather be in a car for 12 hours with your kids with no childcare or anything else, or in an elevator with Stephen Colbert for 2 minutes? And he was like, oh, definitely the kids. And then he goes, well, is it Stephen Colbert from years ago or Stephen Colbert from the last few years? And she's like, the last few years. He's like, oh, definitely not.
Right. It's just like
it's so it's like a
so also like what, like they're watching The Gilded Age, they're sticking with it, right? But they're annoyed that Cynthia Nixon exists as a performer and has views outside of it. I'm
surprised that she can play something other than a liberal psychopath.
Right, I guess. And like she's playing a character. She's not Cynthia Nixon. This took place a long time ago. There is a gay I've like have dipped in and out of Gilded Age, but like there is a gay character. There are black characters on the show.
That's why it's woke.
I don't know if they were always black characters from the first season, because I've only watched part of this season.
Is there DEI in the show?
There is a black doctor.
Is there a DEI storyline?
There is a black doctor who saves the life of a white person.
Is there a transports storyline?
There's very little transports in the episodes I saw. I can't speak to the entire season. Yeah, there's no point in which there's a trans. Oh, yeah. I don't know what they call them, Mr. Mortingham or Mrs. Mortingham. Swim, 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 swim. No, that doesn't happen in the show. That doesn't happen in the show. Like it's. Yeah, like that.
This is a day old. How many YouTube views? How many views do you think they got on is sitting on YouTube right now? Vice President of the United States is on a podcast.
100,000.
40.
Wow. Wow. Made to your lowly segment.
More people might see it from this.
Yeah.
Look at what we did.
We're drawing attention to it.
Yeah, well,
we're drawing attention to it.
It was too funny and too boring.
It is quite boring. She'll get the hang of it. I'm sure she'll figure out how to kind of bring some more life into it. A tough first guest, maybe, or she'll stop doing it.
She needs someone with some life as a guest, I guess.
Right.
We're coming back and doing the Stephen Miller episode for sure.
Is he going to come on?
I assume
he's
so.
He's got to come on. He's got to come on.
So. Barack Obama went on Michelle Obama's podcast.
Right. Yeah. Tough booking. I actually am genuinely interested in the Stephen Miller episode. I actually would like to see what happens. You know,
he
lets his hair down, as it were.
He wears his shoes in the house. It angers her. That they had that conversation too. Stephen Miller wears his shoes everywhere. She's like, "Where my kids are eating, it's just terrible."
Well, is there no rule? Is it a shoes like this? That's a matter of communication.
That was we don't need to get into it. That was a whole part of this podcast. Anyway, it's going to stick in my brain for a long time. Anyway, here's the thing. There's no space for conservative women online. And there's no space for just a couple of progressive podcasters online.
Yeah,
which is why we want you to subscribe to the Pod Save America YouTube channel, because we are close to 1 million.
We're right on the cusp.
Right on the cusp, and that means Elijah might not get fired. And I heard
for every subscriber over 1 million that we get in the month of August, Tommy will give Elijah $1. That's $1 for every single one over 1 million.
And if we hit 1.5 million, Tommy will sit down with JD Vance so they can both talk about their shared favorite show, Emily in Paris.
Emily in Paris, yeah.
Also a big Emily in Paris fan, Tommy Vietor.
Or maybe Tommy goes on Katie Miller's podcast. We can find out where his head's at on mayonnaise. I don't know. Ot's Tommy like behind the scenes? I don't know. What makes him tick?
He's got jokes.
What makes him tick?
He
was the other day. Tommy was telling such a funny story, and he was like, "So this family died, and they died on a mountain. They died on a mountain, John." And he said, "They're dead. It's a dead family."
He's got jokes,
but he said it took place in the Middle East, and he said he wasn't sure whether to bring them home from the mountain or bring the mountain to them. The family is dead, John. Got jokes. Great joke from Tommy. That's an Islam thing. Really funny. Really good stuff. Really cut us up.
Subscribe to Pod Save America on YouTube, please. Thank you.